Is AI transformation the new digital transformation? I recently attended the Microsoft AI Tour in Sydney and heard a new set of terms, and it sounded very familiar to things we've heard before, but refreshed in the world of AI. Hi, my name is Peter, and I help people just like you understand more around what is possible with data analytics and AI, particularly in the Microsoft ecosystem. Now, I've got here X transformation, and I'll explain what X means. It's kind of the placeholder for what was the term we had around digital transformation, probably earlier in 2016. This is the earliest I found in my quick search, and in particular around Microsoft's language around the notion of transformation, what it means for organizations. And so they had these 4 pillars of digital transformation that they touted at the time, and by all means, they are a fantastic way to ground in whatever we are doing with technology and how do we make it real and applicable to an underlying business needs and requirements. So I actually think these are really good. Now, if you are not familiar with the pillars of digital transformation, very quickly, they center around how you engage your customers. So how do you use technology to better access and engage and communicate with your customers, empower employees, be more productive, do more, optimize your operations, whether it's time or cost or agility, then transform the products. Also think of your services, so I call it transform your products and services using technology. And probably hundreds of projects I've worked on in the last 8 years or so, everything can be grounded to one or more of these pillars of digital transformation. So a good way to center yourself or center maybe an initiative to just go, well, what is it we're doing? What are the drivers aligned to that? And then how do we apply technology in the right way? Now, recently came across this new term. Again, this is in the Microsoft language around AI transformation. And I think some of these terms have been this is the end of 2024, but they've certainly been used, or some of these terms are used for a little bit this year. And I was like, the messaging is interesting because it gives us a sense of what Microsoft is telling organizations and their customers. So the language is important to understand, what as they bring out all these products and services, what does it mean for you and I and those consuming these technologies? And some of these will look very, very familiar. So enrich employee experience is the first one. What's very similar to empower your employees. But how do we make the employee experience richer? So we've started seeing that with some of that, Copilot and Copilot 365, augmenting and using things like Copilot Studio to access our data, help us be more productive as employees and staff members. Falls sort of in this category. Next we have is reinvent the customer engagement. This is, again, a bit akin to how we used to engage our customers. Let's reinvent that engagement. So how do we use AI technology, particularly generative AI technology, now in new ways to really go further and help us do that with our customer experiences? The third on the AI transformation sort of messaging is around reshape business processes, which does have a direct correlation to optimize your operations. So again, as I'm doing more with organizations and customers, a lot of things are coming down to how do we take a business process, and this is not a new problem, this is quite a age-old problem in technology, take a business process and optimize that, and can we do that using generative AI or AI technologies as a whole? So again, this aligns similar with the digital transformation messaging we saw in the last decade. And the last one here is actually, I'm still sort of just working out what they mean exactly, but it says bend the curve on innovation. Now, you can probably draw a dotted line around this might be tied to transforming your products and services. And bend the curve on innovation, as I understand it, is really around how do you not just innovate internally, but maybe also externally as well, to how you adopt AI technologies and change the curve. So what is the curve? Now, that's an excellent question. It might be something that's, I guess, maybe very theoretical, but the closest thing I could sort of come to is stems from, and I've seen this in many different ways, but it's the diffusion of innovation by Everett Rogers' theory came out in the 60s. And it's an adoption curve, looks a bit like that. I'm not going to go into too much detail. The essence is any new technology, you'll have different stages where people will then start adopting a new technology. So you might have the innovators. These are the people who will be the first to say, let's just take generative AI and things like ChatGPT, or maybe it's Microsoft Copilot, and use those first. And so you have your innovators, your early adopters, and then the early majority. And so when you sort of start having people adopt in here, we see the technologies being used more and more. That's about a 50% of the sort of of all available market. And then you got your late majority and laggards, those who eventually will invariably adopt a technology, whether by they need to or almost forced because it's now commonplace, or they might put them out of business. And we think about things like Kodak, right? They didn't adopt the innovations technology around digital cameras. Even though they were pioneering them, they sort of firm hold of the film business. But I'll post information to this theory in the notes. You can read more there. So I think though the curve of innovation might be referring to here as the adoption, or it might be how do you use AI to help your customers grow their use of your products and services. So they're adopting you and you're growing market share, or your business gaining market share. So they might sort of work in theory, but that's a bit of a distraction away from, I guess, some of the wording and language that Microsoft is now using. So keep a lookout for AI transformation. It's still useful to think about it in the same context of your people, your customers, the way you do things, your processes, and then what products and services you offer. So you can use both of those, whether you're a sort of more of a internal or a vendor, or a system consultant type of view. But use these things about how you frame and reference problems you're facing or seeing or helping people with, and then that can be used to deep dive around, well, what does that mean when we do that? Is it around productivity? Is it around cost benefits and savings, agility, and so forth? So it's just a bit of observations around things I've seen. Hope that was insightful, and sure to certainly subscribe if you'd like to hear more things that I have to share. And if you do like this, please hit the like button to let me know that this type of content is useful or not. And I'll catch you in the next video.